Eye of the Tiger, Vlad Dogo et la Queen, en association avec Mise au jeu, Vidéotron, Nuts & Go, BPM Sport et Top Rank présentent la grande finale de la soirée. 10 rounds de boxe pour les championnats NABF et NABA des super moyens. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing for the NABF and NABA Super Middleweight Championships. Ce combat est sanctionné par la Régie des alcools, des courses et des jeux sous la supervision de M. Marco Bergeron. Superviseur NABF, NABF Supervisor, M. Michel Hamelin. Les juges pour ce combat, judges for this bout, Mme Marie-Josée Guérin, M. Jack Woodburn et M. Richard Blouin. L'arbitre pour ce combat de championnat, your referee for this championship bout, M. Martin Forêt. Tout d'abord, dans le coin bleu, l'aspirant s'affiche 28 victoires, 11 défaites, 4 verdicts nuls, 14 victoires obtenues par KO. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, the challenger, professional record, 28 wins, 11 defeats, 4 draws, 14 wins coming by way of knockout. De Jalisco, Mexique, pesant 168 livres. From Jalisco, Mexico, he weighed in at 168 pounds. Jose de Jesus Macias. Et son adversaire dans le coin rouge, sa fiche professionnelle absolument parfaite. 29 victoires, aucune défaite, 21 victoires acquises par KO. His opponent fighting out of the red corner, professional record absolutely perfect. 29 wins, no defeats, 21 wins coming by way of knockout. De Montréal, il fait osciller la balance à 168 livres. From Montreal, Quebec, he weighed in at the super middleweight limit, 168 pounds. Il est l'incontesté et invaincu champion NABF et NABA des super moyens. He is the reigning, defending, undisputed, and undefeated NABF and NABA super middleweight champion, Eric Bazinha.
You received my instruction in your dressing room. Vous avez reçu mes instructions dans vos vestiaires. Respect my instruction all the time. On respecte mes instructions tout le temps. Protect yourself at all time. On se protège à tout le temps. Touch love. Good luck, guys.
And we take a look at the tail of the tape for our main event. Eric Bazinha and Jose Macias. You see Bazinha enjoying a slight height advantage. And Bazinha looking to make a statement that he's ready for bigger names in the 168-pound division. In theory, Morgan, this is the type of fighter that if he is ready for that type of opposition, he would blow away. But Jose Macias has been in this exact same scenario before and has ruined everything.
Absolutely. In theory, he should do to Macias what Claggett just did to Machado if he really is among the top 3 or 4 168-pound fighters in the world. But again, Macias always has other plans.
Shot to the body there from Bazinha.
I mean, it's clear immediately that despite what the tail of the tape says, there's a big height disparity between the two of them. And Bazinha appears the much heavier puncher, which makes sense because he's always been at 168 pounds. Macias is a natural super welterweight.
Trio of good body shots early here from Eric Bazinha. And this is kind of the approach that we've seen from Macias throughout his career. He's either entirely on defense, shelled up, or he's entirely on offense. And that offense, as we pointed out, can sometimes be a little bit unorthodox.
Yes. What we're seeing so far is steady jab, heavy-handed, two-fisted attack. Investing to the body early.
This is a lot more of what we saw from Eric Bazinha earlier in his career when he was more of a straight-ahead pressure fighter, targeting the body. As the opposition has got better, as he has pointed out and said to us, he had to kind of balance his attack a little bit. He said I had to learn how to control my breathing, how to work defensively.
Well, that's what I was about to say. He can be the guy that he used to be. He can come straight in the front door against this opponent, we think, again, just because of the glaring size advantage. but we'll see if Macias can force him into some other type of strategy.
Bazinian targeting the body heavily here. Perhaps aiming a little bit too low with that jab a moment ago.
But even the punches that don't land officially, like you can hear the impact when they hit Macias' arms.
See one of those big swings from Macias. That's really his dangerous shot, is that big looping overhand right. It was the big sweeping left that knocked out Stephen Butler. Final 10 seconds of the opening round. Really one-way traffic here to kick things off for the highly rated Eric Bazinian. We take a look at the keys to victory for Jose Macias, as provided by our French colleague, Matt Cassavant. Not letting Bazinian set the rhythm, which he seems to have already here in the opening round, that being Bazinian. Finishing his combos with the left hook. We mentioned that dangerous shot that knocked out Stephen Butler could be a key for him here tonight.
Don't want to see you there.
And for Eric Bazinian, make it a boxing match, not a war. We saw the composed approach from Bazinian in the early going, making Macias back up and using his speed advantage in the counters. And Morgan,
yes,
I think we've seen a little bit of all those things from Bazinian thus far. We've seen the hand speed, and obviously we've seen him target the body.
Yes, I saw that first key to victory for Macias. Don't let Bazinian establish the jab, and I thought to myself, too late. Bazinian's doing a smart thing because Bazinian, because he has that really pronounced advantage in punching power, doesn't have to use the jab if he doesn't want to, but it is much smarter to do it. You see him stabbing to the body with the jab too.
Bazinian doubles up on that left hook. Macias tries to come back with the left hook. One of the rare instances of Macias trying to punch with his opponent, and I think that's why that jab to the body is there for Bazinian. It's basically a free shot. Macias isn't going to counter over the top, so why not just keep stabbing him in the midsection?
Absolutely. And Macias' his best chance is to catch Bazinian while he's punching, but that is such a risky strategy with a puncher as powerful as Bazinian. So you see sometimes Macias thinks he's better off just loading up that big left hook and hoping it gets home. Well, he's doing more than hoping, obviously, but you get the point.
Combination there from Bazinian. Macias does know how to take care of himself in the ring. He's taking these shots, but he's not bothered right now. He's staying behind the shell. We saw that against Pavel Solyagin last time out. And he kind of employed a similar strategy 2 fights ago against Andrei Bekalowski in Germany, where he kind of just slowed that fight down entirely, made it a close fight on the scorecards, but ultimately didn't do enough to win.
This is the boxing equivalent of the 2-3 zone. Just slow it down when you think you're outclassed. And again, do more than hope for the best, but yeah, you know, a firefight doesn't necessarily serve Macias here.
Just missed with an uppercut on the inside there as Macias trying something new, trying to wade to the inside. Bazinian content to just keep stabbing away with that jab up and down.
Here's Macias now doing something smart. You don't see him jabbing very much. You see him throwing the other punches now. And now unveiling the jab. He's sort of like a pitcher, pitching backwards, throwing the curveball and the changeup to set up the fastball.
Final 20 seconds of round 2. So Macias trying to apply a little bit more pressure here. Good combination there from Bazinian, not all of it landing. I believe that right hand did. Macias trying to up the tempo here and gets a couple left hooks in right before the bell.
Yeah, Macias, he knows what it's like to upset a heavily favored Canadian fighter. And again, he has sort of that muscle memory, right? This is familiar territory to him. So he didn't come here just to lose, just to pad Bazinian's record, just to give Bazinian something to do while he waits for the title shot. He came to win.
To find job and go with the hook. It's a game of patience. It's a game of being very disciplined and doing the thing over and over and over, okay? If you're far or you're completely here.
We'll take a look back at some of the action from round 2.
Here you go, Corey. You see Bazinian stabbing Macias to the body with the jab. Like, a lot of fighters don't use that punch, but he's using it here. Trying to sneak that right hand around Macias' guard. Macias' defense isn't super tight, but it's effective enough. It's keeping him upright so far. And here he is with some aggressiveness. This is the first we've seen of it.
Round 3 underway. Jose Macias at 28-11-4 has certainly been around the block, and you look at the names that he's fought throughout his career. Of course, Stephen Butler, Kernan Leharaga, Pavel Solyagan, who we've referenced, Suleiman Sissoko, Erickson Lubin, Alejandro Barrera, Giovanni Santillan. I mean, he has been in there with a ton of good fighters over the years.
Right, so this occasion, you know, this challenge, it doesn't necessarily scare him. Like, he knows how to handle himself in these situations.
Shot to the body there from Macias.
And again, Macias has decided that periodically, Bazinian's going to leave himself open for that shot.
Ooh, good right hand there from Macias. Well, you heard in the corner of Bazinian, there is still, I wouldn't say concern, but there's a degree of caution.
Yes.
And they were imparting upon him that, listen, you need to stay disciplined each and every round.
Right. Like the keys to victory said, a boxing match and not a fight.
Hard right hand to the body there from Bazinian. Macias is finding a home with that left hook downstairs and another uppercut as well.
I was about to say that, Corey, and it feels like the left hook to the body is setting up so much else. And Bazinian's thinking so hard about preventing that left hook to the body that that right hand landed. If you had asked me before the fight whether the most significant punch of the first 3 rounds of this fight would be a straight right hand from Macias, I would have said no, but that's the situation we're in.
Macias starting to build confidence here in the 3rd round.
And now you see Bazinian, in contrast to the first round and a half, where he was just walking straight in behind that jab. He has to move a little bit, move backwards, retreat, use angles.
We saw Macias a moment ago, too, kind of alter the delivery of his left hook, almost a hybrid uppercut as he was jumping in. Again,
there it is. Lead left hook to the jaw.
Gets through right there. Well, the selling point of this fight locally is that Jose Macias has been dangerous to Quebec fighters in the past, and he certainly looked dangerous here in the 3rd round.
And again, I'm not scoring round by round, but that was a Macias round. I don't know if he landed more punches, but he landed the more effective punches, the more eye-catching punches, the more authoritative punches.
Let me take a look back at some of the work from Jose Macias in the previous round.
Macias staying patient behind those gloves, staying composed after he gets tagged, and he winds up landing this big right hand. We'll see if we see it. There's the lead left hook. Got Bazinian's attention. And again, if you had asked me before the fight, who would be the first fighter to land the punch that makes the opponent rethink what they're doing, I would have said is Bazinian. But Macias has landed those punches and really gotten Bazinian's attention. Gotten Bazinian's respect.
Round 4 underway. Important to note, too, that, you know, this is a guy in Jose Macias who spent time at 154. He spent time at much lower weights earlier in his career. It's not like 168 is his natural weight, but he's still showing that his power can carry.
This is what I'm saying. This is a natural super welterweight. Again, getting a super middleweight's respect, getting a super middleweight's attention with his punching power.
Jose Macias has been sparring with Bruno Sandoval day after day in preparation for this fight. Sandoval, truly a full-blown super middleweight, so he has had good preparation. Hard shot to the body there from Macias. Bazinian trying to counter with a right hand off the ropes.
And again, Bazinian's game plan was to box, but Macias is just so forceful, and he's gonna force Bazinian to fight at a pace that Bazinian doesn't really want to fight at, that he hadn't planned to fight at. But Macias just is not giving him much of an option right now. And that's the punch that I thought Bazinian would have landed a little bit earlier. The one that gets Macias' attention. It makes him maybe reconsider what he's doing.
A shot to the body there from Macias.
But to the point you raised earlier on, Corey, about Macias, he's not fast by any measure, but his punches get there because he is so unorthodox. He has this herky-jerky rhythm. Look, he extends his front foot, but his leg is straight. You don't see that very often in boxing, and yet these punches get home because they come from angles, they come at moments that Bazinian is not expecting, like right there.
I think you used a good term earlier, Morgan, which is forceful.
Yes.
Because some of the punches from Macias, it looks like there's a tell there. It looks like he's cocking his fist back. You can see when it's coming, but they get there.
Yes.
Bazinian feeding off the crowd here at the Montreal Casino, putting his hands together in the closing moments of round 4.
And Bazinian switching southpaw, which again, I usually read as a sign of frustration.
As we see Christian and Billy ringside alongside Camila Stefan. Billy, the stablemate of Eric Bazinian, as we take a listen into his corner.
When his front hook is dangerous.
If you go back against southpaw, it's a good punch, especially when he comes like this, okay? The only thing, he box good right now. The only thing, when he just try bombs, one at a time. He try one shot and you block. I want that boom, 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 boom. Short, short, short. It's time to do 1, 2, and 3. Bum, bum, bum. You block the first big bomb, pop, and you go right away. Bum, bum, bum. Fast.
Well, Morgan, it's nice to have a trainer validate your own analysis. But in Mark Ramsey's words, Macias is looking good right now. But to his point, yes, he is just loading up on one shot, and he wants Bazinian to start flurrying in the midst of some of those bombs.
And you see Bazinian come out southpaw again. What I'm interested in seeing is whether or not Bazinian can implement like 2 tactical changes at once. So now, right now he's a southpaw, but Ramsey has also asked him to become this counter puncher and fire 3 or 4 punches back every time Macias throws a big punch. And I'm curious to see whether he can do both those things at once.
Swing and a miss there from Macias. But as you see, at the bottom of your screen, our French colleague, Matt Cassavant, scoring the last 2 rounds for Jose Macias. So right now, through 4 rounds on his scorecard, an even fight.
Corey, I see it. I see it. If you're watching this fight, not knowing that Bazinian is the clear A side and the clear favorite and the person who should win, just basing it on what you see, yeah, I could see Macias winning those rounds. He's not the bigger puncher, but he's landing the bigger punches. And now he has switched southpaw.
Well, and the threat of this devolving into a fight and not a boxing match seems to be materializing here, Morgan.
And this is not what Bazinian wanted. This is not what Ramsey wanted.
Hard shots to the body from Macias and a nice uppercut. Breaks through the middle. Nice quick combination on the inside. That's what Mark Ramsey has been asking for.
Beautiful short right hand from Bazinian.
Bazinian flashing the hand speed on the inside. And this seems to be getting to Macias, who's giving ground and might be breaking down.
And so now we have a fight, which originally wasn't what Bazinian wanted, but it seems to be working well for Bazinian now.
Well, you saw a little dip in the knees of Macias during that sequence, but he is still firing back. Quick shots on the inside again from Bazinian.
Another quick combination, that right hand to the forehead got Macias' attention.
Well, credit to Mark Ramsey, because this tactical change has changed the momentum of this fight entirely.
Absolutely, and again, and it's a bit of a gamble because in counterpunching in volume, it does risk turning this fight into a fight from a boxing match, but Bazinian made it work that round. At a little higher cost, he's breathing a little more heavily now, but Macias, I think, is wearing out more quickly.
First, big defense. Second, combo. Fast punch and precision. He's trying 1 punch at a time and heavy. You go fast and 2-3 punch. He throw 1, you throw 3. He throw 1, you throw 3. But we need that big fucking defense. You understand? Breathe. He will.
We see some of the good work from Eric Bazinian in the previous round.
There's Macias trying to rip the big punches. These are the big single shots that Ramsey's talking about. Here you see Bazinian creating a little space for himself. Quick combination, that short right hand clips Macias. And again, cranking up the volume a little bit for Bazinian risks inviting these exchanges and turning it from a boxing match into a fight. But the reward is he landed so much more and so much more cleanly in that round than he had in any round before that.
Well, and this is some of that push and pull that Mark Ramsey was talking about in terms of him pulling the lever on Eric Bazinian. There are times when he does need to motivate him. There are times that he needs to rein him in. He's now reached a point in a fight where he thought he might have to make Bazinian give caution a little bit. Now he needs him to step on the gas.
Yes, big right hand to the temple there from Macias.
See a little bit of swelling developing on the left cheek of Eric Bazinian as he tries to jump in with a left hook.
Bazinian's problem when he turns southpaw is that the jab isn't as crisp. And so it does not make Macias think twice about advancing, regardless of what advantage you think you get geometrically with the lead feet.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that Bazinian as a southpaw is almost exclusively an inside fighter.
Yes.
He's looking for ways to get in there. As an orthodox fighter, you're right, that the jab is there for Bazinian.
Yes. Gives Bazinian the time and the distance that he wants. But as a southpaw, that jab is not giving Macias any reason to hesitate.
I think the calculus that Bazinian's corner is going through right now is that Macias is loading up, and that means that he needs space. As rugged as he is, Bazinian is better off in here.
Yeah, because Bazinian can really impose his size and his height. Here's where height is an advantage. Usually reach is more of an advantage than height, but here on the inside, when you can lean on somebody and make them carry your weight, the height's an advantage.
Inside the final minute of round 6, Macias bangs away to the body again. The counter shot there from Bazinian, doubles up on the right hand.
Again, Macias got over early on because his delivery was so herky-jerky and the timing was so awkward, but Bazinian rolled that right hand beautifully and came back with his own right hand. He's starting at points to catch Macias' timing. Nice left uppercut on the inside from Macias, but you saw Bazinian do just what Mark Ramsey asked. Once he gets hit with that uppercut, come back with something.
Less energy to move like this and to try to control from outside, okay? Now I want this like high defense.
Again, for all of Macias' credentials and all the success he has had against Quebec fighters, if you had asked me before this fight, what I thought would be happening at the midpoint of this fight, it was not necessarily what we're seeing.
Don't look for one, okay?
If you had asked me before this fight what I thought would be happening at the midpoint of this fight, it would look a lot more like Bazinian's keys to victory.
Short distance, big defense combo.
Round 7 begins. And Eric Bazinian perhaps in the type of tough fight that he did not want here tonight, as he's trying to just hold ground in the world rankings as he waits for a big opportunity. But victory against Jose Macias right now is certainly not a guarantee.
That's about that. Took the words right from me, Corey. Well, that's what I was going to say. It's not guaranteed. Like, this is a fight he's going to have to go out and earn, similar to the Alantez Fox fight. At least that's how it looks at this point. We'll see what develops between now and round 10.
Bazinian having to tap into some of that inherent ruggedness that he developed fighting on the streets of Armenia. Very complicated man, though. He's a competitive dancer and a street fighter at the same time. He came to Canada when he was a child.
Shades of Vasily Lomachenko. Although you don't see it as much in his boxing, the intricate footwork.
Some of the first sparring sessions he had as a youngster when he came to Canada were against Librado Andrade. So he is certainly used to this type of dogfight.
100%.
Hard right hand from Bazinian comes over the top.
You see Macias smile, trying to indicate that didn't hurt him, but even if it didn't hurt him, it hurt him. It also taught him not to leave that jab out there, and this is what Bazinian was waiting on. Again, it's a question of timing.
The edict in the corner of Bazinian right now. Tight defense and quick shots. Hard right hand from Bazinian, and Bazinian is in trouble. Bazinian on wobbly legs. Macias going for the finish. Macias on the brink of a monumental upset. Can Bazinian hold on? A lot of time for Macias to work with, and he loses his footing. Eric Bazinian still in trouble right now.
Macias making a fool of me because I had just finished saying that Bazinian had started catch the timing of Macias' right hand. And here's Macias again landing it clean.
Bazinian.
That's 4 of them in this round alone.
Barely holding on. Macias looks like he just needs one more shot. And the bell might have just bailed out Eric Bazinian.
And also the wet spot on the canvas where Macias slipped when he was advancing.
Qu'est-ce que je te dis qui est le plus important? What I tell you is the most important from the last 5 rounds. Your fucking defense. You need to be tight. You cannot be like this on the rope. You let the shot go through. Tight defense and short punch. You say yes to me for the 3 last round, but you don't do that.
This, I think, is a sequence from after that first initial huge right hand that whiplashed. That one right there, Bazinian's head. And that was a round that Bazinian, I think, had been winning.
Absolutely.
Until Macias landed that right hand. And again, there was a sequence in that fight where Bazinian had appeared to have solved the timing, because the right hand is not particularly fast. It's just about timing and direction. But here we go.
Round 8, and we will see if Eric Bazinian has fully recovered in the 1 minute since he was on shaky legs and looking like he was on his way out of this fight. Can Jose Macias do the job once again on the road here in Canada?
Well, you heard in the corner, Mark Ramsey asked for defense. He begged for defense. He exhorted for defense. And we'll see if Bazinian can keep that together if he gets drawn into more exchanges, which is not what Ramsey wants.
I'll tell you, Morgan, Bazinian still does not look steady, still does not look fluid right now.
No, he looks a little bit wobbly.
He's trying to use his jab to buy some time here as he recovers. But now, again, the scorecards become very interesting. Because let's say he just gives this round away as he's trying to recover. Maybe we have an even fight right now.
Yes, because that's 2 straight rounds that he might have lost. But I see him trying to crank up the offense. But maybe at the expense of his defense, which is not what Mark Ramsey wanted.
Bazinian wisely just grabbing a hold as he tries to get his bearings. He is doing good work with the jab. Mark Ramsey continuing to just scream at Eric Bazinian right now.
And Bazinian, too, is slowed down markedly. Those body punches have had the effect that Macias intended. Take some of the power, take some of the top end power off of Bazinian's punches, but also make those punches come a little bit slower.
Hard shot there from Bazinian, nice left hand. Maybe a little bit of a confidence boost for Bazinian after a nightmare of a 7th round. Good counter there from Bazinian along the ropes.
Oh, another right hand.
You're right, breaks through with another right hand.
And also for Bazinian to be the bigger man, but be the one with his back on the ropes getting pushed there by a natural super welterweight is not something I expected to see. And I can't imagine that works to Bazinian's advantage.
Final moments of round 8. Another nail biter for Eric Bazinian.
You don't listen to us. That's good. Deep breath. You're still in control of this fight. You're still in control of the destiny. But be fucking smart. I prefer to see you not throwing thing and moving a little bit, that throwing soft stuff. I don't want to see you get countered. You understand?
Yeah, Corey, and I can't say that I like Bazinian's body language in the corner. He looks tired and confused. Whatever he was expecting, whatever permutations of this fight that he played out in his mind when he was asleep or falling asleep, visualizing this fight, I'm not sure he saw any of this coming.
Well, 2 rounds to go here in our main event, and the urgency at a fever pitch in the corner of Eric Bazinian, and justifiably so. I mean, let's put this in context, Morgan. I'm sure the matchmakers might not admit this, but I'm sure after the tough test against Alantez Fox,
yes,
where Eric Bazinian had to really gut that win out, he wanted a fight that would look dangerous, but ultimately wasn't. Because Bazinian has a high ranking, he just needs to hold ground. But instead, what might be happening is it might all be falling apart.
Well, absolutely, and again, you see a guy with a 30-0 record, and they're projecting a 31-0 record after this fight. One of the questions is, has this person overcome adversity? And you like to see the person overcome adversity, but not all the time, not in consecutive fights, and certainly not against a guy who has 11 losses coming in.
Bazinian landing a couple good left hooks a couple moments ago.
Because regardless of who Macias has beaten from Quebec, those people have not been Eric Bazinian, and you don't expect him to come do this to Eric Bazinian, who Bazinian just got away with a low blow there.
Bazinian landed a nice right hand as well. Credit to Bazinian. Under duress. Still seemingly hurt from round 7, but still trying to fire back. Bazinian's corner imploring him to stay sharp, to stay tight.
Imploring him to stay sharp and stay tight, but sometimes he gets hit when he's trying to do that. What has worked well for Bazinian in this round is the times when he has Macias' back to the ropes and he can lean on Macias, which is the opposite of what he has right now.
Macias just banging away here along the ropes. Less than a minute left to go in round 9. Back and forth action along the ropes as Bazinian digs to the body.
Back and forth action, great for the fans, great for the neutral friends, great for us. Absolutely not what Bazinian and his team wanted from this fight. Not what they wanted, expected, or needed from this fight.
Good shots on the inside there from Bazinian. Bazinian has landed some eye-catching shots in this round.
This has been a good bounce-back round for, well, until now it's been a good bounce-back round for him.
Look at Macias go. What a round.
And the fact that Bazinian celebrated after that round tells you what has become of his expectations. Because that was not like a clean round for him. He didn't win that one definitively. That's a round he may have won, and he was celebrating.
You have to be sharp at the beginning of the round. Now, listen to me. The exchange is pretty much close. But the thing is, you stay on the rope. I told you last round, you catch, you turn. You catch, you turn. You do just that adjustment, and you're going to win the round. You're going to win all the exchange. You just need to boom, boom, turn, and push him on the rope. That's the only thing. Now you give him a chance to come back. Last round.
Corey, it sounds like Mark Ramsey noticed the same thing we did. If Bazinian's back is to the ropes, he could lose this round and lose this fight. He does a lot better. Clash of heads.
Well, no one wins in a clash of heads there. Both fighters walking immediately to the corner. It's an interesting way to start a round.
Yes.
An immediate clash of heads. And now we can get started for real. So clearly Bazinian's corner still believes that he can win a decision.
Yes.
Because they're looking to win this round. They're not looking for pure desperation, all-out aggression here in the 10th round.
Yeah, no one told him, hey, you need a knockout, which you do hear in corners sometimes. They gave him to the extent that you can have a long-range plan with 1 round remaining, a long-range plan, a general plan. Just keep your back off the ropes, keep his back on the ropes, and you win the round. Implication being that if you win the round, you also win the fight.
Can Eric Bazinian hang on and avoid disaster here in what would be one of the biggest upsets of the year if Jose Macias can pull this off?
There's Bazinian using his elbow to hook Macias and turn him. Got a warning from the referee, but I'm not mad at him because it accomplished what Mark Ramsey wanted. All he needed was a turn. If he's not losing a point, it doesn't matter. He just needed to turn Macias to get his own back off the ropes. And here he is back on the ropes again for him.
Well, there's a hard right hand that breaks through from Macias, and that one sent Bazinian to the ropes. Good reply there from Bazinian. His right hand got there first. Stiff jab from Bazinian. This is good stuff.
Yes, it is.
From Bazinian at the exact moment that he needs it.
And here's Macias going back to what works for him. Coming forward, pushing Bazinian to the ropes and trying to line up that right hand. And I can't guarantee it won't work.
Right hand again comes over the top from Macias. Every one of these shots, potential fight enders, they're all dangerous. We've seen Bazinian hurt. Final 20 seconds of this fight.
Macias bleeding now.
Big right hand from Bazinian. And then now it's Macias who wobbles back. Eric Bazinian needed a big round, and it looks like he has produced enough.
Enough, yeah, I don't know that it was a huge round in comparison to what Macias did. He may have won that round. But I can't guarantee that he won this fight. Would you guarantee that he won this fight?
I mean, listen, it was closer for Bazinian than he wanted this to be.
Yes.
Than anyone involved with him wanted it to be.
And I also have to grant that it might seem closer just compared to my expectations. You know, and I don't want to come out here and call the fight I expected to see. I have to call the fight that I'm seeing. But at the same time, not scoring round by round, I can't tell you definitively who won this fight.
Right, I think that the fight was in jeopardy for Bazinian, perhaps more so because of the danger that Macias was presenting.
Yes.
And because of how much he was hurt in the 7th round and clearly had not fully recovered until the end. Maybe more so than the danger he was in on the scorecards.
Yes, and when you look at this fight, like to use the Max Kellerman example after each round, you ask yourself, which person would I have rather been? And a lot of times that person was Macias. And between the two of them, like, which one of them was in danger of getting knocked out? It was not Macias. It was Bazinian, who was almost out.
Well, another gutsy effort from Eric Bazinian, but certainly not one that will inspire confidence when it comes to his chances against some of the top 168-pounders in the world, to be completely honest.
No, obviously, absolutely. If you were one of the tippy top tier elite 168-pound fighters, if you're Benavidez, if you're David Lemieux, if you're Canelo Alvarez, are you looking at this fight and saying, I can't fight him because he might beat me? Or are you looking at this fight and saying, here's a guy with a 30-0 record that I know I can beat.
That's ranked number 2.
That's ranked number 2, so I have no reason not to fight him.
Well, Eric Bazinian still getting a lashing from Mark Ramsey in the corner right now.
No, and I understand it. Because, again, this was not the fight they wanted. Key to victory number 1, boxing match, not a fight. And this was a fight. This was a dog fight. Credit to Macias. I don't know what they're paying him, but whatever it was not enough.
Looks like the scorecards are in. Let's send it down to the center of the ring.
Mesdames, Messieurs,
for
après
the
10
official
rounds
decision.
d'action, nous allons au quart de pointage pour la décision. After 10 action-packed rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for the decision. La juge Marie-Josée Guérin remonte un pointage de 97-93, alors que les juges Woodburn et Blouin le voient 98-92, tous en faveur du gagnant par décision unanime. Judge Marie-Josée Guérin scores the bout 97-93, while judges Woodburn and Blouin score it 98-92, all in favor of the winner by unanimous decision. And still, NABF and NABA Super Middleweight Champion, Eric Bazigna!
So Eric Bazinian survives